thank you for being here. My name is Trevor Lloyd. I work with Onion Lake Family Services in the protection unit. I hope everyone can hear me. One thing I wanted to do, and I've met most of the Red Main people, but I was hoping they would just stand up and we can thank them for this wonderful event. If Red Main can stand up. I don't know about anyone else, but this is the first conference I've been to in over a year, so it's like coming out of hibernation. It's been really awesome. I really appreciate Red Main putting this together for us. And it's so nice because I got to see some colleagues that I haven't seen for a couple years. I got to learn about some other agencies in the presentations, and I've been really enjoying it. I've been in Onion Lake on and off for the past 30 years. So I started there very young, with not much experience and not much knowledge, and kind of dove in and tried to do the best I could. But one day I was driving home from work and it was dark out. I live about 50 kilometers from Onion Lake, and there's these two elderly gentlemen on the road, and it was very cold and they were hitchhiking. So I turned around and I took them to Onion Lake, and I noticed they had a few wobbly pops, but they were still really nice to me and enjoyable, and they thanked me for the ride, and then they said, "Thank you, Munias, for the ride." So I was feeling really good because I got a Cree name. So then I went home that night really happy, and I talked to my partner and I said, "Shri, you never guess what happened. I got my Cree name today, Munias." So she goes to me, "Well, Trevor, it suits you very well because you are an ass." You know, I'm getting up there in age. The gray hair is coming. And I know I'm still, you know, it's been about 10 years ago, some aunties came to my mother, and they told my mother a little bit of our family history. And what they told my mother was that my grandfather went to his grave not telling anyone that he was Métis at the time. So I grew up all my life until 10 years ago not knowing that I was Métis. So I'm a new Métis. I'm learning as I go. But it's kind of a sad story because my grandfather was embarrassed that he was Métis. So now, like, I'm a proud Métis. I'm a very young Métis, but I'm learning as I go. And I even know what Munias means now. I was thinking about door prizes. You got a number of door prizes to make things a little more fun, a little more interesting, and we're trying to figure out ways that we can give the door prizes out. So we're going to do some different ways and some tickets, but I liked the idea yesterday where you found something on you. And then I was thinking, well, if people have to go through their purses when they're eating and they have their knives, it might be hard and they might stab themselves, so I don't want them doing that. But I was looking around, and like me, people are getting up there in age and we're in our midst of our careers, and I thought, what could I do? And I thought, quite a few people, and I don't have mine here today, have glasses. So I was thinking if anyone had a blue pair of glasses or any blue in their glasses, you can come up and get a door prize. One person, 2, 3. Oh man, but it's only one, okay. It's only Doris because she was the first one up. Doris, help yourself to a door prize. This is for Doris from Town. Onion Lake Cree Nation straddles the Alberta-Saskatchewan border, 50 kilometers north of Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, Alberta. It's a community of 5,500 people on reserve, 1,500 people off reserve. Onion Lake Family Services has been in operation since 1995. We have 33 staff members there. They work in various programs, much like your agencies. When we were asked to put a presentation together, Well, for one, we didn't realize we'd be in the spotlight, which is a little bit stressful. And for two, we had no idea that there would be over 100 people here. So when we got here yesterday, we were a little bit nervous, and you can probably tell in my voice I'm a little bit shaky because I'm looking at all these wonderful people here. But when we thought about our presentation, we thought, well, how can we do that? You know, our agency is working hard to get away from the typical protection. Like, it's a sad story in a way because we have over 140 kids that we're taking care of, and we have 80 files that we're managing, 80 family service files, 140 child care files. And that's a sad story because that's a lot of kids that are in care and a lot of families that we're working with. So what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to change our protection and really move into prevention and try to, you know, keep families together. And that's the title of our conference, is Keeping Families Together. And what we have done, and we have got some awesome community partners that have amazing programs that they're offering to people and families that are actually keeping families together. And we have a couple of those agencies here that are going to do presentations for you. So you'll see what programs they offer. So for example, if we're dealing with a young mother in the hospital, possibly substance abuse issues, the baby comes out with chemicals in their system, we don't want to apprehend that child. That's the furthest thing away from us we want to do. So we were able to partner with a program in Lloydminster called Residents in Recovery, and they developed a program to take that young mom and that baby, and they're going to talk about that in a minute. And Tyler from Residents in Recovery is going to come up soon and talk about that. Another family program we have is Lions Quest. Lily Lake, we call Lily Lake Lions Quest program, and Wanda and Dr. Saxon are here. They're going to talk about their program. But before we do that, we'll have Emerson Kipling come up, and Emerson's our prevention supervisor, and he's going to talk a little bit about our prevention programs in Onion Lake Family Services and hopefully do another draw.
Good morning, my name is Emerson Kipling. I work with Onion Lake Child and Family Services. I'm the prevention supervisor. I would like to just start off by saying, if we have to do COVID tracing at some point, I was in contact with none of you, and I was not here. It's definitely very funny, you know, you go around and I remember you would see people with a mask on 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and you think, geez, that person's weird. And now it's flopped and you see somebody without a mask and you go, holy geez, that's weird. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so times have changed. So you'll find that when I'm nervous, I tend to ramble a little bit. So I'll probably end up doing that. But I'm new to child and family services in Onion Lake. I'm not new to child and family services in general. I'm what you call an agency hopper. So I did some time with the Meadow Lake Tribal Council, and then I went over to La Ronge, and then I thought, what the heck, and I'll go back to Meadow Lake again. And then I took a little break, and I thought, okay, I'll go back again because I like punishment. And so I went over to Onion Lake, and so here I am. And so when you hop around from agency to agency, you see things that work. And you see things that work well in different communities, and things that you can do and that you can implement and that you can grow. You see the weaknesses of things. And so that's something that I really hope we can work on with Onion Lake, is seeing things that I seen work. And my biggest thing is collaborating as a team, because I don't know it all. And so I guess some of the things that I wanted to talk about, like in prevention services, what we do is we do a lot of facilitation. And with COVID, that has made facilitation extremely hard, because everything's had to move virtually and away from us meeting in person, which has proposed the challenge that creating effective online programming for our families, because it's easier for somebody to just shut down the computer and say, I'm done listening to this. So that's one of the challenges I'm assuming we're all facing, is creating effective programming through COVID. And I guess one of the biggest things is I really rely heavily on the team for their community to show me what the community needs, because I'm a total outsider. Like, I travel in 2 hours every day just to go to work. So child welfare is my passion, but I mean, COVID has changed that, and so my goal is to make sure that Trevor does not have a job in 10 years. Yeah, that is the goal of prevention, right? To make sure we don't have protection anymore. And so that's something that I'm passionate about, that I want to make sure that I'm running the best prevention program that I can run, and the most effective prevention programming. And oh jeez, that's not my good side. Come over here. But I've learned a lot. I see a lot of people that I have once worked with, and it's really nice to see them. It's nice to be here. And you know what? I really hope that I get to mingle with the rest of you guys. I mean, I know there's such high turnover in our work, and you know, you see somebody 1 year and the next year they're gone, and you know, I think I'm a really great person. Just kidding. So anyway, I guess kind of we'll tie back Red Main into this. I had seen Red Main starting to be implemented in the Metal Lake Tribal Council, and I was part of the process of helping that start that creation of it. But I didn't actually get there to implementation stage, because again, I'm an agency hopper, and I left before I seen it into fruition. And so when I came to Onion Lake, I was like, oh, hey, yeah, I know what this is, but I'm glad to be working with it, because I've worked with a lot of other systems that aren't very user-friendly and aren't very client-focused. Like, I worked with the Government of Saskatchewan website, Lincoln, which is a nightmare, just a total craziness. It's just absolutely nuts. So it's nice to have Red Main. It's nice that we are moving forward in helping families stay together, which is the goal, I think, of why we all do what we do. It's not to get rich, because we're all in the wrong field if that's what we're here for. I think that's about all I have to say. So Trevor, I'm gonna let me do a draw. Hang on. So. What if I draw my number? Okay. I'll read you the last 5 digits. 73036. Hey! You can just leave my $20 at the table there. You just over here.
To your good side.
Yeah. That was strategic when we did that. Yeah, that's Harley.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yes.
So go ahead and take any one of them.
You know what? I'll leave the next one for someone else.
Okay, awesome. Except for that one. Just kidding. Go ahead. Thank you.
No, I said give me your watch.
Oh!
Thank you.
Sorry, I can't. I'm still making payments. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great conference. I listened to a bunch of great speakers yesterday. I want to say you guys all did well. Definitely a lot better than what I've done here today. I'm definitely nervous. I could feel it in my voice. My knees were shaking a little bit. But I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that I could come up and speak. And I hope that eventually I come back and I have a lot more knowledge at that point, because I'm the opposite of Trevor. Trevor said he was,
What did I say?
ancient? No, just awesome. So I hope everybody has great success in their programs, and I hope to see you guys all again. Thank you.
You know, Emerson's been such a great addition to our team, and you can see why. He brings that sincere, genuine quality that we all need in our workplace, and really appreciate working with him. Back to my younger days. I got a job once, and it was an administrator job. And I was really proud of this, and once again I went home and I was talking to Shri about being an administrator. And then I started thinking, admin, ass, straighter. And then I started thinking, boy, I'm just an ass walking around. Admin, ass, straighter, moody ass. So I got a complex there, but it's all in fun. Next person I'd like to call up is Tyler Lorenz with Residents in Recovery. And he's gonna tell us about his program and about how we work in partnership with him. So here's Tyler.
Thanks, Trevor. I'm pretty nervous too. I didn't expect this many people here either. Tough act to follow, these two. They're quite entertaining, for sure, to say the least. So, but yeah, I want to, really thank Onion Lake for, their willingness to collaborate on this project. This is something that we had actually been working on for some time, and it never really came about. COVID definitely played a part in that, and there just seemed to be lots of things that happened. And one day I took a lady from Catholic Social Services up to Onion Lake to meet with Trevor. He had just taken over the position, and we sat down at a table with a couple of the workers and Trevor, and they really liked the presentation and said, well, I have a mother in the hospital right now. Can you take her today? I'm like, well, no. We didn't really have anything in place, but we did manage to take her 2 days later. And since then, we've had a number of women come through the house. This program is really new. This started in August. So it does build on the family program that I'm going to talk about that we already had in place. So our main goal as an organization, or our bread and butter, is sober living. And we provide sober living for single men, women, and families, single mothers. And keeping the families together and keeping families involved is a major part of that. Ever since we started sober living for single men and women, we've had children in the house with overnight weekend visits just about since day one. So it's been a big part of what we do. On really trying to eliminate as many of the systemic gaps that we see, whether it's release from incarceration, post-detox, that big wait before treatment, where does mom and baby go after they're released from the hospital. And then there's this huge gap that we identified early in our program, where mothers, are being reunited with their children, but there's no real sober living support in our community. So we had a couple young women that went through our program. They did everything right. They went through the pre-treatment sober living, went to treatment, came back, did post-treatment sober living. Child and Family Services says, yeah, we've marked off all our boxes here, you can have your kids back. Then they got their low-income housing place, they got their kids back, and everything fell apart because all their supports were gone. and they fell back into addiction. So we really stepped in and filled that gap and provided a sober living home for those mothers and fathers and their children. The cost of the gaps, I'm just going to rip through these. I mean, obviously, pre-treatment relapse rates are high, post-treatment relapse rates are high. Children in care, I mean, that's such a huge piece, right? And that's really why we're here, right? And it costs everybody money, it costs families, and it just extends the traumas, generationally along the families. So we really want to look at, keeping the families together as much as possible. We don't want mothers to return to active addiction because their children are taken away from them, right? Mothers are forced to either give up their kids so they can go to treatment, right? That's a really tough decision, right? Who wants to give up their kids? Where are their kids going to go? Sometimes there is no safe place for the children to go, right? So we really want to take that piece out of the equation and provide a place where mother can get the addiction support that she needs and keep that family unit together. So our approach is really, to do that. Apprehension diversion, the family healing center that we've developed with Onion Lake, is an alternative for those mothers with newborns. Our pre-treatment sober living is really that start piece where in a lot of cases the children have already been apprehended. So we want to take advantage of that and support those mothers with the start of their recovery journey and reintroduce the children back into their lives, every weekend. And then that post-treatment sober living is really where we want to keep that family together for even up to a year or longer and support them as much as possible. I'm going to skip over the video. Oh. So we have, like I said, a number of different homes. We have 4 sober living homes for single individuals without full care of their children. Like I said, they do visit on weekends. We have 3 for men and 1 for women. We have the Family Healing Center. This is the project in collaboration with Onion Lake. And then we have a 5-plex for families. Family Healing Center, this is an amazing facility. It is a 10-room facility. We utilize 7 of those rooms for mothers and their babies. So every room itself has its own bathroom, bedroom, it's fully furnished, crib. And they're also allowed to have one additional child under the age of 4 reside with them in that house. So it is a very busy house. It's a large house, it's staffed 24/7. All addiction counseling in there, all programming happens in there, outreach, casework, all of that happens within that home. The whole idea of this home is really to support mothers and make sure that we don't have to take the children away. There are 2 beds that are set aside in this house for mothers that are in their 3rd trimester. This is another gap that we see where mothers really need to start their recovery journey, and they're motivated to do so, but many treatment facilities will not take a mother in their 3rd trimester. So mothers could move into this home in their 3rd trimester. We'll support them. We do have a doula that works with the mothers in there, all in-house, right? And then support for the mother after birth. The doula helps with breastfeeding, all of those extra needs that many of these mothers, they may have given birth, but many of their children were apprehended right away, right? So we really provide that in-house support. There's a lot of cultural aspects to it, sharing circles, talking circles, all of these other pieces that we really needed to incorporate into this program. Then our family sober living complex, this is, there's 5 2-bedroom units in this complex. This is really for the reunification of families, right? Where now all of a sudden, mothers can be reunited with their kids in a supported environment. Where this program always runs at capacity. We are trying to get We have an offer in another 6-plex right now, just because the demand for this is so high. The goals of this, it is monitored 24/7, immediate access to 24/7 support, in-house community support through referrals, and really building this recovery community with these mothers. We also have a suite available for fathers as well at another location, and really incorporating, what it is to be a parent in recovery into this program. We have an outreach program as well in a downtown recovery center where we provide day programming for all of our residents in all our homes as well as to the community. We do provide childcare as well for any mothers in and out of the program that require childcare support while they do take advantage of our program. And we integrate all of our community partners as well. We try not to duplicate anything. If there is somebody providing a service in our community, we utilize those services. We do not need to duplicate anything. A couple facts, these are a couple months out of date, but that's okay. We've had 56 single parents of minor children have been residents in our homes. Child reunification still remains the number one, motivator for most of these women. We currently participate probably in most of these in 30 CFS safety networks supports for the reunification of children. 13 mothers have regained full custody of their children and are now enjoying, full-time parenting role outside of our program. 5 mothers have their children full-time in the Family Healing Center right now. Program participation. We've had 232 pre-treatment, 56 post-treatment, 6 Family Healing Center and 6 family program client stays. Relapse rates are considerably lower than our traditional post-program rates. 31% for pre-treatment clients and 9% for post-treatment. Referrals, our number one referring agency is still those with justice and shelter involvement. And many of them have children, right? Other statistics, majority of our clients are methamphetamine users, and most also have a diagnosed co-occurring disorder. Almost half of our clients are First Nation, that's our combined total program. The Family Healing Center is a full Indigenous program. However, our other programs are for anybody. So. And that's about all I have. So if you have any interest in our program, feel free to check us out on Facebook or visit our website, residencerecovery.com. Thank you.
I just want to thank Tyler again. I thought he would tell us a few stories from his past, but he didn't do that. And I thought he would mention that this is his, I don't know if you call it brainchild, but he actually thought about this program and put it together and put the board of directors together and is running this program. And we're grateful to have this program in our area that we can send the families we're working to. So thank you, Tyler. The next program we'd like to call up Wanda Rowe and Dr. Saxon. I got to know these two individuals just a couple years ago. And I'd like to call them up to present on their program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So I want to first of all just acknowledge that we're really lucky to be able to work with Onion Lake, and actually we do a lot of cross-referral work with Tyler as well. And one of the things I'm really grateful for is that we've actually managed to somewhat figure out collaboration in a really good way. And so I'm just super grateful for the opportunity to be here and also to do work with both of these guys, because it's been really important work. And I've got Dr. Saxon with me, so I'll maybe go through our presentation a little bit and then you can jump in and add a few things in. So we started, our program is also relatively new, and we're actually just out in the country just north of Edmonton. So ours is more of it's a retreat kind of experience. They're out in the country, they're a little bit out of the city. And we originally were doing a lot of work in the world of kind of addictions and trauma healing. And what we saw is that there was a big need for this family portion. So we call ours a family renewal program, and it really was, part of as we go through, part of a continuum of care is this was a missing piece for us. So we've really been, we call it co-creation. We've really been working again with Onion Lake and with other partners to figure out how to fill some of these gaps. And our perspective is really from more of a holistic perspective, so we are called a wholeness center, and really incorporating the cultural perspective. As we go through this, you'll see most of our staff and our facilitators are First Nations, and that's been really important for us. So our approach is an adult education approach, and we call it an experiential learning environment. Basically, that's a fancy way of saying we all learn off each other. So we have a very large house that used to be a bed and breakfast, and everyone is in one kind of home. They do have their own rooms, and really the idea is that we're educating them and empowering them, but also allowing them to have the practical experience of learning in a group learning environment. We began with something called a transition model, and I'll maybe get Saxon to speak a little bit more to this. But basically the goal is to walk with the family or the individual from the most level of dependence to the most independence. I don't know, Saxon, if you want to maybe speak a little bit further to this.
Hi, hello. When we kind of conceptualized the program, what we were looking for was essentially a model that filled in the gaps between pre-treatment all the way to post-treatment. And specifically what I'm focused on is where the relapse prevention is highest. So essentially what I provide is a service within the community once families and individuals return to the community to be reintegrated. I provide that transitional service where I help build that reintegration back into the community with a range of wraparound services. Now, part of those wraparound services look at, of course, the basic issues of, whatever the trauma or the presenting co-occurring disorders are, but at the same time, looking at more functional aspects, which is pre-employment and employment at some point. Because for me, life without work has literally no meaning. And this is very well conceptualized by a famous writer, Kyle Brand, who said that work is love made visible. And so having an opportunity to be functional in that particular way allows individuals and families to actually have a support system outside of what we call wraparound services, making them intrinsically independent. So I'll just kind of, based on the time, I'm just going to want to kind of go through the program a little bit more.
So one of our other approaches, and we really focus on this with our staff, is having a trauma-informed approach. So really for us, it's about, instead of looking at the person as what's wrong with them, it's what's happened to them. And that trauma-informed approach is really important, not only for the children that are with us, but for the parents, and for the whole family really, but trauma-informed is really important for our approach. We also take we call it head, heart, and hands approach. So when we're working with the parents or any individuals, and even the children are also included in the programming as well. It's not just sitting in classroom listening. We really do land-based stuff. It's really about embodying the learning that they're having right into their body. We have right now 6 main facilitators. So we have Patrick Buffalo, and he does work with the families as well as with individuals. So we kind of incorporate them together. And he does healing with the horse spirit, and Patrick is from Musqueam. We have Jeff Wastascoot, who does language, and he does a lot of the cultural teachings and does the ceremony portions of it. We have Dale Saddleback, who also does cultural teachings as well. And we have Kathleen Thompson, and Kathleen brings with us, she does healing through art. So this is where we talk about embodying some of the healing. And so she leads the parents, and they actually focus on the parents and the children together in this. And she leads them through a process where they're working with things like clay, and we use charcoal and mineral-based paint, so everything is really natural. And she also is part of delivering our Simply Parenting program. We also have Oris Twazeski, and Oris' role is more life skills, emotional intelligence. He talks a lot about kind of how they can create a different vision for their future. And the final one is Jason Zorthian. And Jason focuses a lot on conflict resolution and mediation. And we've seen this as super important. Oftentimes, when we've grown up in trauma, we don't know how to do conflict in a different way. So Jason, not only does he teach it, but he also does one-on-one work, and he'll work with couples and families when they come in and do one-on-one sessions with them to support them as they're in our program, and he will extend beyond the program. So our philosophy, first of all, is creating a sacred container. So our belief is, first of all, seeing the people, the clients that come to us as spiritual beings first. I think another really important piece, and I touched on this, is working together in a case management approach with CFS and the other agencies that are involved. Having an environment with freedom and support to make good choices and learn from mistakes. And a really important component has been providing a sense of belonging with healthy recreation. So we do allow that they have time to learn how to be healthy in recreation time, and giving space within the programming so it's not all jammed in, but they have some space to breathe and just to relax and to just learn how to be healthy in recreation, especially as a family. And so our philosophy is kind of bringing families together as if soul and spirit matter. And that's kind of the approach that we take. I'm not sure exactly if there's anything you want to add on.
Not right now, but I'm willing to take any questions you have. Maybe now or later.
Questions? Yeah, and again, I just want to thank Trevor and his team because they've been so great to support and work with us, so we're grateful for that. Thanks, Trevor.
Good job!
Okay, so we got 3042. 3042. Yeah.
Just another great example of a wonderful program and some amazing people, Wanda and Dr. Saxon. So we're lucky to have them on our team, as we say. And you know, I guess for me, when you get that call at 2 in the morning that, okay, Trevor, we got some things going on here, and we got a baby, and we got a mother, and there's some family issues going on. We don't want to apprehend. We want to keep that mom and baby together. And when I was with Family Services in 1995, we didn't have many choices. But now there's options. We can look at these programs right here, and we can send mom and baby to residence and recovery 24 hours a day, 24/7. Same with Lily Lake, same thing. If we got a family struggling and they're willing to go, we have that opportunity to go. So we're fortunate to have these providers with us. And what I've noticed is that the draws have gone over way better than me, so we should have another draw. So, and then I was thinking, okay, what would people have? So the first one to have a nail file. Run up here, oh, there you go. What's that? Thank you.
Preparation, Melissa.
We are blessed, and we are thankful to have a wonderful elder with us. And I was thinking the group would be okay if we gave her one of the draws. We have one more draw left, so we'll go the traditional way and we'll go by tickets. $3,007. Going once? Going once, you're gone, yeah. Now, this is our crew from New Brunswick. Our crew from New Brunswick, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, they had an awesome presentation yesterday too, so thanks guys. Thanks again for putting up with me, and thanks again for listening to the presentations. And if you want to reach out to these agencies for your clients, feel free to do so. I know they'll be very helpful as you move forward with your work. Thank you very much.